Righto, you lot. So we got ourselves a Savage 21. We all know this Savage. If you don't know it, if you're new to the channel, perhaps you've not seen this one before. This is my original Nitro car. Had it brand new back when it first come out, whatever year that was, 2003, 2004, who knows. Anyway, got it for Christmas when I was a kid. And it's now got a different engine in it. We'll go through some bits, but the main purpose of this of doing this is to see what it needs for this, you know, for the summer. The summer's starting to come up now. I want to see what it needs, because it is quite worse for wear. And the last time I used it, the last time I took this out, I think it was the last time I took this out anyway, it got hydrolocked. It went into a big puddle and it fell upside down, and the whole car, everything went underwater. And the engine got hydrolocked, and then I took it home, and about a week after it hydrolocked, I got it started again, got it running, everything was fine. And then it went on the shelf, and that was that. So we'll see what it needs, and then I'll make a list. I've got my notepad and paper. I wouldn't normally make a list, but the list is purely for the purposes of these videos, to be honest. So I can make a list, show you lot the list, and then we can tick the list off as I go through, as I buy various parts for it, whatever it needs. So this isn't the shell. I put this shell on it because I quite like it. It's quite a nice wide shell, and plus I wanted to save the original 21 shell, but I don't know what I've done with it. I've put it somewhere for storage and lost it. So we'll stick that shell over there and see what we've got. So we've got some nitro in the tank. It doesn't look like it's gone to jelly. I mean, it's still quite, you can see it there, still quite wobbly, so that's a good thing. Throttle, not seized up. Tampon, still intact for some reason. Put that over there. Air filter doesn't seem to have perished in any way. It still seems like an air filter, so that's good. It's not the original one I used to have. Where is it? I kept it because I was hoping to get a new foam for it, but I never managed to get a new foam that fitted it. Oh, there it is. This is the original air filter that I put on it back, you know, the little one that comes on, God knows where that is. But then I bought this from the model shop that I bought the car from when I was a kid with my pocket money. This is the one. The little thing slots in there, inner foam, outer foam. That slots in there. No Allen bolts, no nothing. When you want to do your air filter, just push it in, take it out. They don't make these anymore. At least I can't find them. I was trying to find the foams that fit in them, but I can't find them. You might think the foams that fit in these fit in this, but it doesn't. It's slightly too small. Need a bigger inner foam. These ones have an Allen bolt at the end. I don't like the ones with Allen bolts, but every air filter these days has a screw or an Allen bolt. I mean, I know what you're going to say, and I know the reason why to do it, so they don't fall apart. I know that, but I don't like it, so I want to try and find a foam for that at some point. Do we still turn over? Yep. We still turn over, so it's not rusted. It's not rusted up, which is always a good thing. We've got any power in the... We've even got power in the receiver, and we're talking now about 2 years has been sat on the shelf, so that's quite good. We've got some damage here. This is old damage. I put some wood screws in there to hold that up. This sort of falls apart, and there's not a lot left of that. That got chewed up by a rat, probably. I don't know what happened to that. It all fell off, and yeah, so I put a wood screw in there, but it doesn't hold it very well. So really I could do with a new one of these. I'll have to see if I can find one. So I don't know what that's called, but I won't put that on the list. I don't know what it's called, the thing. I know as well, is it the front? See, the front's got the same. I've got a random air filter fell off the shelf. The front's got the same. I stuck some wood screws in there a long time ago, and these ones have held up, so them ones don't fall out. Because what you got to watch is on these Savages, if these fall out and this little front bumper comes down, same for the back, the pins, these little pins that hold the axles in, they fall out, and then your whole axle just falls off because the pins come out. That's what happens with the rear one, and it does happen with this front one. As you can see, look, that can move down enough, and then the little pins, they fall out, and then the axle falls out, and before you know it, you're flapping around. Your axles are flapping. HPI Racing tuned pipe. Still got me a little piece of wire. It's MIG wire, that is, from a welder holding that on, so that's still there, which is good. The glow plug's in it. Right, I want to see. The thing is, I wanted to keep this as AM, 27 megahertz, but I don't know. I might see if I can afford a 2.4 gigahertz thing for it. But what I need to do is I need to get to the receiver battery, and I need to see what battery's in it, because I want to charge it up. And not only do I want to charge it up, I just want to see the state of it and see what it's like, because I really want to give this Savage a good old blast around this summer. A proper missed monster truck, you know. I've been messing around with buggies and whatever else. Proper missed me Savage, you know, the monster truck. And well, I can't afford to buy another monster truck. I don't need another monster truck. Why would I want to buy another monster truck? So I'll just use the one I've got. But I want to. The main things that I need to check to make sure that they're all right. Oh. God, what's that? Why's that stuck? Oh, we got a hump pack in there. God, I didn't even realise there was a hump pack in there. Well, obviously there would be a hump pack in there because I only ever use hump packs. But I didn't realise that there was still going to be one in here. 1700 Pro line. Absima. Ah, it's quite a good battery then. I wonder why I would have left that in there. Anyway, at least I know I've got a good battery there, so I won't need a new receiver battery. I might need new servo for the steering because that was a bit weak, but I can deal with that. I don't really care if that's weak, to be honest. The receiver's in there. Well, I don't know what crystal we've got. What crystal's in there? I've got a text message. What is that? Oh, because of the aerial tube. Alright, take that off. Now that can come out. What crystal we got? So we got. This will probably be split red and brown because I always ran split red and brown. So that's probably what it will be. No, it's not. Is it? No, it's not. 27075. AM RX, yeah, 27. I don't know what colour that would have been. Anyway, I'll see what I can do. I'm going to keep the receiver for it anyway. I would never throw it away because I want to keep these sort of AM. I like to keep AM, you know, RC quite alive. I like it, but I do want this to be reliable as well. I do want to be able to go out and enjoy it this summer. So I think I might see if I can afford a 2.4 gigahertz little kit for it, you know, just a cheap one. You can get them off Model Sport for about 30 quid. So we'll see if I can get one of them for it, I think, and put that in here just for reliability, because I haven't got many crystals left, and if these crystals was to break up, I wouldn't have any left, so I'd like to try and save them. So I think I might do that. It's got the original receiver in it, obviously. This is never been changed. The servos are original, never been changed, 20 odd years old. The receiver's never been changed. It's the original receiver. Everything's standard, original. The only thing that's not is the air filter, the engine, which is a K4.6, and these. I've still got the original. I've only done these axles recently because I found them on eBay for really cheap. I don't think they're. I think they're Chinese. I don't think they're original ones, like genuine ones. I mean, but I found them on eBay really cheap for like 20 quid about 5 or 6 years ago. So I put them on here. But You know, I've never changed servos, never changed anything. I don't believe in that kind of stuff back then. Do you know what I mean? I don't believe in wasting money. Only change something if it's broken. But yeah, there we go. Right, so let's write on our list. We're going to try and start it up in a minute. Make sure that it's going to run. Should run. Right, so Savage. Right, so Savage. So we want a receiver kit. TX, RX kit. Right, so we want a TX and an RX kit. What else do we need? I don't think we need anything else yet. Got a battery for it. That works. Won't need the failsafe with a 2.4 gigahertz. So this is also an original, genuine failsafe. Put this on it. Like literally when I got this for Christmas, literally got the failsafe, everything. Still works. It's absolutely brilliant, you know. Q World. I've never seen these for sale anywhere ever since. They're all these cheaper ones. Well, not necessarily cheaper, but they're all these ones that don't look quite as good. And or you got these ones, which just look a bit rubbish, don't they? Micro failsafe adapter. Yeah. So both of these are just leftover stock from when I had a little shop many years ago, and I kept them. So, well, you never know, just in case. But not a lot of people run AM anymore, so no one wants to buy them anymore, failsafes or anything like that. Right, let me just fanny around a bit, and we'll get her running. Bloody hell, you lot! I've just decided just to check see how much charge this battery's got in it, just for fun, basically. Bear in mind, it's been sat on the shelf for more than 2 years, and I didn't charge it before I used it last anyway, and plugged it into this little tester. It's 99%, 6.32, and don't forget it's a 6-volt pack, so it's still pretty much 100% charged. That's pretty good, man. Normally batteries will, sometimes they do hold their charge, but normally they'll deplete fairly fast, so that's good. Happy with that. I might even take the one out of the MP9 and put it in this Savage, and put this good one in there, because the one in the MP9 is a little bit dicky. It does leak a bit. It leaks a little bit every now and again, and it's a bit corroded. So, and yeah. Anyway, right, back to what I was doing. So I've migrated down to the floor because I don't want to get Nitro all over me workbench. Just put a new top on it a couple of days ago. I've got to varnish it yet, so I don't want to stain it. Anyway, varnish it, but I don't want to stain it. Bloody hell. Anyway, I've heated it up with a heat gun. Nice and warm now. Yeah, plenty of compressiono. Plenty of primage. Let's see what happens. With any luck, she'll run. Well, she runs. I nicked the throttle. There's a little spring that I put on the throttle many years ago to keep the throttle shut. The reason for that is, if ever the little connection comes off, I'll show you. I nicked it off and put it on the MP9, but because that's the one I've been using. But you have a little spring. You can use a hair band, an elastic band, anything, and tie it round there, and it goes around the needle. But they do actual springs for them. Throttle return spring, they're called. different types. But many years ago I bought it from the model shop, and it just goes around there and then clips onto the high-speed needle, and basically just keeps the throttle shut. So if ever this little rod was to pop off, which they do pop off because it's only a little ball joint, they get worn and they just pop off. And if they popped off, the throttle would be free playing and you would get a runaway. A fail-safe or 2.4 gigahertz radio gear would not save you, because it would be, well, it wouldn't know, and the throttle would just be disconnected. The only thing keeping, look, see, that comes off. Once that comes off, your throttle is free to do what it wants. And if you notice, that's tick over, that's probably a quarter throttle, that's going to shoot off, and you wouldn't be able to stop it. You'd better steer, and you better put the brakes on, but the engine will still be revving, and if your brakes ain't very good, the engine will overtake your brakes. Anyway, so I did have a throttle return spring on here, but seeing as I wasn't using it, I nicked it and I put it on the MP9. But I think I'll get an elastic band. You can get different colour ones and all sorts, and just use one of those. And I'll probably use that on the MP9 and put the spring back on here. But that's why it was revving, because the throttle was just pushing itself open. But she runs, and she runs really well. So I don't think we need anything engine-wise in order to get it going. I just need to sort out this thing here, whatever this is called. I haven't got a clue what it's called. If you know what it's called, let me know and I'll search one and see if I can find one. Just need one of them. And I think that's about it. I think everything else is alright. I don't think. You can see all the nuts and bolts we've lost over the years. There's hardly, well, there's none in the bottom one now. All the bolts are missing, all the screws are missing, but that's alright, as long as it holds together. Now there was a problem with it, but don't see, oh there it is. That locks up when you push it in reverse. Now that's due to the gears in the diff and all of that being a bit slack. Am I all that bothered about that? Not really, no. This is a 3-speed gearbox I put in it, maybe, when did I go? I bought it from Heath's RC Models. It was already assembled. Same place I bought the engine. That must have been about when I bought the drift car. I'm going to say about 2010. I put that in there, that 3-speed gearbox. I could never make it change into third. It's either stuck in second. It's either stuck in second and is pulling off in second and going second, third, or it's stuck in first and goes first, second, but not third. I reckon it's in second, and we're not getting first gear. I reckon it goes second, third. It goes beep beep, but it never goes in. Never changes 3 times. I reckon it's stuck in third, second, and then goes to third, but we don't get first. But anyway, I'm not bothered about it locking up. We don't go in reverse. We only go forwards. When it gets to a point where it won't go forwards anymore, then I'll have a look to see what the problem is, whether it's the front diff, the gearbox, or the rear diff. I would imagine it's probably this 3-speed gearbox that's probably a bit loose and binding up. When you try and push it backwards, they're probably a bit flappy in there. There's no grease in there, there's no oil in there, there's nothing in there. So, and I've never put any oil or grease in the front or the rear diff either. And this monster truck's been used a lot. But yeah, so I need to put on my list. I don't know what that thing's called. That thing there. I put the TX and RX kit if I can afford it, but if I can't, then I'll just be keeping hold of this one. We'll have to see what happens with this old recession stuff. At the moment, in England where I am, we're in a recession, and it's meant to be getting a bit worse. Whether it does or not, I don't know. But it just means everything's bloody expensive, really expensive, stupidly expensive, to the point where there's no point in, you might as well just wait and go and buy something later on. So we'll see how it goes. But there's nothing wrong with the AM gear what's in here, so I'll only get myself 2.4 gigahertz if if I can find a nice set at a decent price. It'll always be handy. I've got to buy another set anyway for the Mardave, because I took the one out the Mardave and put it in that other car, didn't I? Right, so bear with me. I'm just going to take the battery out the MP9, and then we'll put that battery in here, and we'll put this good battery in the MP9, because I use the MP9 more. And yeah, we'll go from there. This is the one out of the MP9, look. It's a little bit less amperage, Still 6 volts, but it leaks a little bit, and there's a little bit of corrosion popping up around there, but it works all right. I was charged reasonably well, but I think I'll put this one in there, and because I use this one more, so I'll put that one in there. And yeah. Oh, that reminds me, I got a little bit in a minute. I've got another little thing to talk to you about glow starters. I know you're probably thinking, glow starters, how many things is there to talk about glow starters? I've already done 2 videos on dedicated to them, I know, but ever since I've done them 2 videos, I've had, must have been 6 or 7 people send me private PMs, you know, on Instagram, asking about problems with their glow starters or glow plugs, and so far I've helped 2. Turns out that the problem is with their glow starter, and the other one I'm waiting for him to get back to me, because he's in Australia and he's probably asleep by now, so I'm waiting for him to get back to me to see. He might have the same problem. I'll tell you what the problem is in a minute and how you can fix it, and that way, because I think loads of people, the other people, have all thrown theirs away, but they could have had an easy fix and saved themselves some money. I'll tell you in a minute. Hang on, let me just switch these batteries round, be patient, and I'll tell you, and I'll explain. If you've got a glow starter that won't work, you could just do this simple thing and it'll work again. So very quickly, with the glow starters, right? The glow starters, right? Now there seems to be some people that their car won't start, and you know, they're blaming whatever, and then they take the plug out of the car and it won't glow. So they try another glow plug, it won't glow, right? The problem is the glow starter, right? Now, what a lot of people don't seem to realise, well, again, to me it is obvious, but to a lot of people it's probably not. They probably don't take a lot of notice. Now, there's different types of glow starter charger. I've only got 2 types, but there's other ones. Now, the ones I've got, these ones have got a little red LED light, okay? Now, it's important to look at it, because when you plug it in, right, let me see, when you plug it in, right, hold on. Oh, let me get one that actually works. Right, look. When you plug it in, this one's got a little light on it, right? So, it's very important to look. I always look, because I always want to make sure, but a lot of people, they just don't. I can't understand it. So when you plug it in and you turn the switch on, right, it's on, but the light's not on, right? There's power going to the charger, but the light's not on. So if you get the charger, and when you plug it in, let's say you're plugging it in to your, you ready? I'm going to plug it in, can't see, but I'm plugging it in. Oh look, the light's on. That means that the circuit's been completed and there's electric going into the battery. When it's not connected, the light goes off, right? Now, the thing lies, well, let me explain first. Some of glow starters have a green light, and when it's green, it means it's charging. Sorry, when it's green, it means it's fully charged, and when the light is red, it'll be one of them multi-colour LEDs in there, and it's red when it's charging and green when it's fully charged. But some of them have the weird circuitry where it'll be green with nothing connected. So when you first plug it in the wall and it's not connected to anything, the light's green. So then people plug in the glow starter and walk away, come back so many hours later, and the light's green, they think it's charged. Let me explain why this is a problem. Now, a lot of dirt goes in these little contacts, right? A lot of dirt goes in these little contacts here. Nitro, grease, dirt, anything. This one had that problem. A lot of dirt was on here, and a bit of corrosion as well. There's still a little bit in there. You're never going to see that. There we go. Oh, you can't see it. My camera don't like focus. You can kind of see a little bit of corrosion on the top of that still, but this one works now. I've cleaned it. So you plug it in, but it's not making a connection because all the dirt and stuff's there. You put it on. You think you put it on charge because you plugged it in and plugged it in, but it's not actually charging anything, right? So then people get frustrated and they reckon the charger's not working, the glow starter's had it, it's not working, whatever, they throw it away and get a new one. Whereas really all you got to do, get a bit of switch cleaner, yeah, any switch cleaner, can be this brand, can be any brand. Get a bit of that, spray it in there, right, all in there. Get a bit of kitchen paper, bit of cloth, bit of rag, or a toothbrush or a paintbrush, whatever you want to do. Kitchen paper is very good, not toilet paper because it will break up in there. The toilet paper is too fine really, it will break up and you get bits everywhere, but kitchen paper is good for it. Or a nice bit of towel, bit of cloth, spray the switch cleaner in there, wipe it round, get it as clean as you can get it, and then plug it in the wall, turn the switch on, look at the light, see what the light's doing. If it's a red one and it's out, then make sure that it actually comes on when you plug it in to the glow starter. If the light is on, that means it's connected and it is putting electric to the glow starter. If the light stays out, it means it's not making a connection, so there's more of a problem somewhere. Maybe the charger is broken, or maybe you need to clean this some more. But it gives you an indication. If you've got one with a green light, a green and a red light, if you plug it in and the light goes to red, that means it's charging. So now you've made a connection. If it stays green, it's probably not charging. Now there is also ones like this one, very stupid one, with no light on it at all. So how do you know if this one's charging? You don't, is the answer. I mean, if you've had it on charge for a while, and leave it on charge for a while, good indication is if this is warm to the touch, it's probably charging, because it's probably the glow starter's taken a draw from this excuse me, and it's making it warm, so it's probably charging. If you've had it on charge for 2 or 3 hours and this is still cold to the touch, it's probably not charging, so there's a problem. But let me show you, if you really want to, how you can test if this is even putting out a voltage. Right, there's better ways to set this up, but this will do for the time being. This will do for my little demonstration. So the way that you can test this is you can plug it into the wall, get your multimeter, stick it on DC volts. This one's automatic. I haven't got to select whether I want millivolts or volts. It'll do it automatically, but you want it on volts, not millivolts. You want it on volts, because the output of this charger, as most of them are, is output 1.5 volts. So we're looking for at least 1.5 volts. It might go a bit higher than that, but it shouldn't go much higher. So then we want to switch it on. This one makes a lot of noise. Some chargers do buzz, it's the little plates vibrating in there. I reckon this one's had it, to be honest, but we'll see. I don't even know if this works. This actual charger works. I've never used it, but so it's important to remember that the outside, you have a negative on the outside and you put the probe on the positive one. The negative is the outside bit, the little bit that looks like a nut, and the positive is the little bit that sticks out, the probe that sticks out in the middle of the charger. That's the positive. So you stick your positive probe on that one and we can see that we've got 3.8 volts. 3.84 volts. I must be honest, I don't know whether that's a bit high or not, but I know that it will be more than 1.5, but it doesn't matter. At least we know that this charger is putting out voltage, so it will charge. That's how you can test if your charger's working or not. This one I wouldn't trust because it's buzzing a lot. I wouldn't trust something like that. I'm going to throw that one in the bin. But there you go, you've got a multimeter. If you're not sure if it's charging, just check the voltage. Well, there you go. I hope if some of you lot have got a glow starter that you think is no good, make sure that it's all clean and you can test the like I say, test your charger, do the little things I do, watch the light, blah blah blah, and make sure it's actually charging before you throw it away. You can also test the voltage in your battery from the same thing. Stick your positive probe in the middle and the negative one on the outside, and you can see how much power's in your battery. You can see whether it's dead or not.